Hi guys, welcome back to my podcast once again. This is Let's Talk About It with Vancy, a platform where we look at life in light of scripture. My name is Vancy Thompson and I am excited to be your host tonight. It's a very beautiful evening. It's been a great day for me. I had my first paper of research methods today and I am optimistic about the grades I am going to get. Well, the paper was a bit, I wouldn't rate it, but I'm sure something good is going to come out of it. Well, we're going to have a very interesting topic today that I am hoping will actually interest you just like it has interested me. I was having an argument with a friend and we were talking about dating. So, as a person, I believe that it is wrong for a Christian to date. Yes. So right now you're angry, probably you're wondering, what's this guy talking about? How can he say it's wrong for us to date? How are we supposed to get married? How are we supposed to make children? It's okay, relax. I am very sure that by the time I'm done with this conversation, we are going to be seeing eye to eye. You can phrase it the way you want. Is it right for a Christian to date? I would say no. Must a Christian date? I would say no. Should a Christian date? I would still say no. Okay, let's first look at the meaning of dating. If any of you is an English scholar, you know that dating is a form of romantic courtship, typically between two individuals with an aim of assessing each other's suitability for marriage. Now mark something out of here. Assessing each other's suitability for marriage. Now that is what dating is. So let me interest you with a common scripture. Genesis chapter 2 verse 24. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. So, dating did not start yesterday. You are not the inventor of dating. Your great-great-grandparents might have dated, because dating has been in existence ever since the 1900s. So, if you are really going to understand the concept of dating, you might want to look at its history, where it comes from, what ideas it puts forward, and then you can comprehend it much better. So the term dating was first used in a newspaper column in 1896. A young man was complaining about his girlfriend seeing other men. So he said that they were filling up my date, as in the dates on his girlfriend's calendar. So that is how the term dating gets into the English vocabulary, and then it starts to take course, and then it starts to grow, and it brings about a whole new culture. Remember that before dating came into existence around the 1900s, courtship was the ideal route to marriage and the only one that was seen as the sensible one. Now, you are wondering, what is courtship? Is it different from dating? Yes, dating is different from courtship. And this is not too complicated, but it has a simple difference. Well, let me define what courtship is. Courtship is the period during which a couple develops a romantic relationship before getting married. I hope you've gotten the differences in the definitions. Just to take you back to what dating is, in dating there is an aim of assessing each other's suitability for marriage. In courting, you come together and you have something romantic. It is a relationship just before getting married. Now, dating brought about a lot of changes in the culture of courtship, which definitely leads to marriage. And once again, that is around the 1900s. For example, consumer goods. Consumer goods became a big deal when people came together to build a relationship. What's cool, what's pretty, what am I offering, and that kind of stuff. Even the issue of makeup came into existence when dating became a big deal. Why? People used to wear this makeup. Now, originally, makeup was for prostitutes and maybe comedians or actresses and actors. Those were the people that used to wear makeup. So when dating comes through and then things are changing, I mean, there was going out, into public restaurants, public places, and, chilling together and all of that. That's when makeup became a big deal. So cosmetic companies called it makeup because you would make yourself up to look, attractive or feminine, isn't it? So to make their products mainstream, they decided to call it makeup. Alright, so you are going to agree with me that courtship isn't the same as dating. And why is the difference? Now look at it in all aspects, all lenses. Look at courtship culturally or traditionally, or look at it in what you might call quote modern courtship. So courtship was an aspect of marriage being the goal. So you're asking yourself, okay, I can date and still have the goal of being married. Now dating is unbiblical. Why? Dating has its origin from the fallen nature of man. It is a concept that we brought up by ourselves. Like you have known it. It just came up and then a new culture sprouted. So courtship has always been there from time immemorial. So all kinds of cultures, all kinds of people will respect courtship. I mean, any kind of tradition will respect courtship. And what is courtship? And what does courtship look at? If you look at the traditional understanding of courtship, there is an aspect of accountability and people being involved. So parents are involved in this. So I mean, there is some aspect of betrothal, right? So you are growing up and then your parents are involved in your business. So sometimes, even parents can go ahead in some cultures to choose for you the kind of partner you can have. We've seen it among Indians. Your parents get for you a wife or they get for you a husband. Now that is a cultural, concept of courtship. Courtship didn't start yesterday also. It's been there from time immemorial. But now the concept of courtship was corrupted by the idea of dating. Now you might look at dating as a simple thing, but there is a lot of things about dating and cultural acceptances about dating that are actually way out of proportion. Now when dating had just come into place, it was a problem. Actually, it was considered felony for you to date. I mean, you were considered way immoral if you started to date. I mean, going in public places with another man, your parents aren't aware, and all of that. But well, for this generation today, dating is pretty normal. It is the way to go, the ideal way to go. Where am I driving my point? So what is the right thing to do? Because if you are going to get married, like we read from Genesis, the institution of marriage was ordained by God. But if you are going to get married, what are you supposed to do if you are not supposed to date? What are you supposed to do if you are not supposed to date? You are supposed to court. Now you're asking yourself, what is the difference between courtship? Now, biblically looking at it with a lens of what scripture means, because the term courtship, I haven't come across it in the Bible from my own readings, but let's not focus on the term, but let's focus on the meaning and understanding. Courtship is a relationship between a man and a woman in which they seek to determine if it is God's will for them to marry each other. I'm certain you've heard this probably from somewhere. 3 people make up a marriage. That is the man, the woman, and God. Now, of course, I understand there are people who have dated, gotten married, and then they've had successful marriages. That is okay. Others have failed. Now, I'm not weighing who has failed or who has made it. I am not trying to give you my opinion, but I'm trying to tell you what the scripture says, because scripture is scripture. That is the absolute wisdom. It is important to consider, however, the fact that the aspect of courtship has the idea of accountability. Because in courtship, the couple is under protection, guidance, and the blessing of the parents of, either persons, right? So, when you get into courtship, you are not hiding around. Now look at dating critically. Now let me get down to this. I want to stop being philosophical. What happens in dating? Let's just have this normal conversation. Someone likes someone, okay? I wake up one morning, I like a girl. And then because I like her, I say some things to her, and then she probably, accepts, my request. So we start to have what we call, quote, a relationship. So we start to do what we call, once again, quote, pushing out. So we have a thing, right? We have a thing, and then we want to know each other. We are trying to understand each other. We want to, grow in love and whatever it is, so that we can probably get married sometime later. Now, dating, why I said that dating is wrong for a Christian is that dating has no boundaries. And for as long as you believe in dating as a Christian, you are going to the unbiblical side of things, because there are lots of aspects about dating that are way off. For example, in dating, it is not a priority for parents to be involved in a business. Usually, even parents come at the end of everything. You have known each other, you have concluded that you are best for each other, so you are going to go on with this relationship. Now, that is what dating is all about. In dating, like I told you earlier, in the definition, we understand that people are testing and assessing each other's suitability. Meaning, if I am dating Rita, I can try out Aisha, as I also check out Rina, and then I can also be seeing if there is potential in Fiona. So in the end, I'm going to say, okay, who is the best? And then I go like, Fiona is the one that I want. Now, there is something about this generation that I am not going to leave out. Sex. Now, assessing each other's suitability. I mean, people are so crazy about this. Now, we have been lied to that, the whole institution of marriage is about sex. And then we have this kind of like anxiety that has been brought by social media and, what we see on the internet. For example, what we see in pornography, and then we have different ideas of what sex in a marriage institution is. And then when you look at these erotic films, and then people are having this kind of like romance for hours and hours, and then basically we have ideas of what a sexually romantic relationship is, and that is actually a wrong idea. So we have our own constructions. So these anxieties cause us to always want to know, can I do good? Can I do better? Others get anxious. I'm a virgin, and you've heard that if you're a virgin, you cannot be you cannot have a successful relationship. So you need to try out these things so you can become good before you get into the institution of marriage. So while assessing suitability, people are going to involve themselves in sex. And then you're going to say that, okay, so I had sex with Rita, and she's not so good, so I'm going to try Fiona. She's not so good, so I'm going to try so and so, and then I want to get the one that is good in bed, right? Now that is what's happening in dating. Now believe it or not, okay, that is the whole idea of what dating is about. You might not be intentional about doing some of these things, like maybe assessing someone's suitability by having sex with them, but by the mere fact that you stand by dating, you won't have boundaries, and you're just a human being. You're going to end up falling for this. Because people argue, this is my boyfriend, this is my girlfriend, why don't we do some things? It doesn't hurt. We could just kiss, we could just, be close, hug and cuddle a little bit, and then it's nothing more than that. But, sometimes people don't intend, and you just find yourself doing some things. So dating is that free, no boundaries, nothing. But in courtship, it is strictly boundary based. Right? Because God is in this institution. God is involved. Like I told you, the institution of marriage is made of a man, a woman, and God. Right? And how do you have God in your business from the start? That is by having a pure, or literally a sexually pure relationship. And then on top of the relationship being sexually pure, there must be the aspect of accountability. So you need to be accountable to your parents, to your mentors, to your seniors, to your church, and everyone around you. So because of lots of insecurities that are taking place today, people want to keep it low-key and all of that. So everyone dates low-key. They do what they do. They break up low-key. They once again date low-key. They break up low-key. They date low-key. They break up low-key. There is no commitment. Now, the commitment value in dating isn't looked at as, something of importance, right? That is what dating is. But courtship has one pure intention. That is to lead the relationship to marriage by keeping it pure. And how do you keep a relationship pure? Because you cannot keep a relationship pure by yourself. We are youths. We have active hormones. You want to do this. You want to do that. You wake up in the morning and your system is worked up. And it's natural for you to want to have sex. It is natural because your body can demand. So how do you protect yourself from all these kinds of scenarios? That is by doing what is right. So this is how I come to a conclusion that it is wrong for you to actually date as a Christian, because you must follow the biblical context, and that is courtship. Keep it pure, keep it real, keep it godly. That is the way it goes. And if you leave out the aspect of accountability, then you are bound to have a relationship that doesn't have God in it. Well, that was it for today. Thank you so much for tuning into my podcast. I hope that you have learned something. I hope you have learned the difference between dating and courtship, and you are going to do the right thing. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let's catch up next Monday, same time, same place. I wish you guys a beautiful week. Thank you so much.